guys, Logan Clements here, freelance event producer, and I'm so excited to bring you another installment of my favorite tips and tricks about event planning and running my own business. This week we're going to continue a video from last week where I was talking about my favorite digital tools that I use when it comes to event planning. Today we're going to tackle my favorite digital tools when it comes to team communication. I've never felt like this is more important than right now. At the time of recording this video, we still can't do in-person events, and so everything that we're doing is digital, and that's amazing and great, but then you also still need these digital tools to create what I've heard some people call a digital office. So a place where you can communicate with your team, you can give them updates outside of just email and text messaging. Before we get into it, I do want to remind you guys to subscribe below, hit the subscribe button, turn on that bell so you get a notification every single Monday when I drop new videos. You can like, you can dislike, comment below, let me know how do you like to share, how do you like to communicate with your teams? I'm always trying to learn. I feel like in the digital space, there's always something new and different out there, and so I'm always willing to try new solutions, but I'm going to share what works for me right now. Anyway, let's get back into it. So I'm going to share with you guys 3 ways that I communicate with my teams during an event, especially now in the digital world. My number one is Slack. A lot of people use Slack nowadays in their office setting. If you haven't heard of Slack, it is this great way to do cross-team communications. It's an app. You can have it on your phone. You can have it on your desktop. It's also you can open it in browser view. It's a great way to connect people on your team because you can both do private messages as well as create channels. Now channels, you can theme these to, I've seen some that are just about certain work topics and then also a random category or a fun category. The way I've used it in events is I will create a channel for everyone working on the event. A lot of times I use Slack more for internal event communication. And when I say internal, that means I'm including everybody who's on the back end of the event, who's responsible for the logistics of making the event happen. We're all in a Slack channel. I think Slack's great if you're working with people who are very Slack savvy. Now, if you're someone who's new to Slack, maybe it's not the best solution, but I have found that that's been really, really helpful as compared to if you're doing a Zoom event. I know some people have really loved the private chat function of Zoom. The hard part, though, is in the moment when you're trying to send a really quick update or quick question, you might forget to hit the person's private name and you might accidentally send it to everyone. And so for some events that I've done, I've always tried to pick whatever communication channel we're using is not on the actual virtual event platform. We're using a separate channel. So Slack is one of those solutions. Another solution that I've used internationally has been WhatsApp. It's another great way. You can use it both internationally and domestically as setting up group chats. And so this is great because it's already on your phone, similar to texting, but you don't all have to have an iPhone. Anyone can have it. You can communicate with people from different countries who have different country codes. So like this has been really helpful for me when I've worked on different events where we have staff from all over the world. So we all have different SIM cards and texting would be very expensive for all of us. WhatsApp is a place that you can just kind of bring everybody together, put them in a group chat and let it go from there. It's pretty awesome. And my third chat function that I use is WeChat, which currently has been under fire a lot in politics, which I didn't think would ever happen, but I'll explain a little bit about WeChat. I used to live in Shanghai before I moved to Seattle, and WeChat is life when you live in China. WeChat is like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Uber, Fandango, Venmo, all got married and we're all on one app. It's a place where you're messaging both your friends as well as your clients. You share moments that can just be photos, they can be videos. Official companies have official accounts that you follow where they can post both short posts as well as longer blog form content. I manage some WeChat accounts for some clients and it's great. It's very comprehensive. And so it's awesome because you can set up group chats super easy. And it is very easy to add new people on WeChat. Instead of saying, hey, can I get your number? Type in the number, add them to group chat. It's all QR code based. So you can actually just scan a QR code and that person is entered into your group chat. So I've used this for internal comms as an event team. We've used it. I've used it for comms with my clients. I've also used it at events to put together similar interest groups. Like we did a watch party for American football and we decided to have everyone scan the QR code when they came in to see if they wanted to join this group chat for everyone who was fans of American football. It was pretty awesome because a lot of people joined and it was super easy. We didn't have to really get all their information. We just needed them to scan a QR code and then they were in the group chat already. So it's very, very instantaneous. So if you ever do work in China or with people from China, WeChat is life. I highly recommend it. I know there's been some privacy issues around it, recently, but it is very efficient and it's one of the few messenger options when you are in China because Facebook is blocked, Google is blocked, WhatsApp is blocked. So you can text people. I don't think you can even use Slack. You can text or you do WeChat. And I found the easiest way is just to adapt to the environment that I'm in. And so if most of my event staff and team that are in China and are Chinese and use WeChat, it's a lot easier for me to teach myself WeChat than to try to teach them Western platform that requires a VPN and all these other steps. These are my three. I love Slack, I love WhatsApp, I love WeChat. And then I will say, I know I said earlier, I was gonna give you alternatives to texting. You can't go wrong with a good old group text. One drawback of that I found is if people don't have iPhones, it makes that a lot harder to do. Or if everyone has an iPhone, then it's okay. If some people have an iPhone, some people don't, it's a little tricky. If no one has an iPhone, there's other options. I've also seen GroupMe out there. But my go-tos have really honestly just been Slack, WhatsApp, WeChat, and I use texting as a last resort. But it's really important before your event to establish what channel you guys are going to communicate internally as a team. Because you're going to create a big headache if you don't clarify that ahead of event day, and you have some people sending emails, some people sending text messages, some people messaging on the event platform you're on, and you're all over the place. So before your event, make sure you sit down with your event team, anyone who pertains to any of the backstage, behind the scenes, event production side of things, and say, hey guys, we're going to use this channel for our communications. Now you might need to set up a separate one for communicating with speakers or the client or other people, and that's totally okay. But just to simplify it, at least for your production side, agree on a platform ahead of time and then just roll with it. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. These are this is a little bit of like low-hanging fruit, I would say, when it comes to communications, but they are super important. And so if you have any questions about using Slack or WhatsApp or WeChat, or just how to communicate more efficiently with your team while we're in this virtual space, feel free to comment below. I've been definitely learning a lot over the past couple months of what's the most efficient way to do it. I do feel like living in China and working in China, where I had to communicate with teams in different countries, different languages, different cultural backgrounds, I felt very good about making the transition to virtual right now, but I know it can also be really weird and hard when you're first getting started, and there's a big barrier to entry. I'm Logan Clements, freelance event producer, and I hope you've enjoyed today's video of my latest tips and tricks about event planning and running my own business, and I hope to see you guys next Monday. Bye!